All right, everybody, we are live right here on LinkedIn. Yours truly, Fabi here, and his compadre, Joe Wilson. Joe, how are you, brother?
Good. How are you, my guy?
I want to hire Josh Piss for the intro. I love his intro because he
He's
does
a major
it
hype
he does so
master.
much better than I do, right? Anyway, guys, sit back. We're gonna go dive deep into getting engagement out of Chat GPT. So hang on and let's get the show going. Right. Well, hopefully that gets everybody in the mood, right, Joe?
That's pumping me up right there.
I
I
like
love
it,
that.
man. I like it. I like it. So, Joe, you've been on the road, man. I haven't talked to you forever. You've been like busy.
There's been
Have
a
you
lot going on. This is a bit, spring is always a very busy time in the housing industry, in the mortgage industry. What up, Willem?
Hey, Willem from
Man,
Charlotte.
what's up, everybody? How's it going? Yeah, but
Nice. Nice.
everyone knows this is a busy time. It's conference season. There's a lot going on. It's the entrance to the spring house buying season. So I think
Yeah.
there's a lot going on. How about you, my guy? What's up?
I'm a homebody, Joe. They don't let me travel anymore. They're like,
Ah,
just stay here, make these podcasts. You're cool.
well, we did 20 podcasts at the Mortgage Collaborative Conference
Really?
in a row. Just it was like Potapalooza for me.
Oh my
All
God, that's awesome, man. That is
great.
awesome. So we're getting a lot of people saying hi. We appreciate everybody checking in. Look, guys, this is going to be part two of the series that Joe and I started a few weeks ago, where we dove into Chat GPT, and we want to kind of dive a little bit deeper this time and teach you guys or explain to you how we're doing it, right, Joe? I mean, we're not really quote unquote. By the way, we're not. Oh my God, my old underwriter's here. Robin, how are you, Robin? I hope she should get a microphone. She can sing amazingly. By the way, so we're not experts, right? So we are not. We're only sharing our experience about how we're using Chat GPT here, guys. So I know that there's people who are out there promoting this. We're absolutely doing this at no cost. We want to make sure that if you guys are using ChatGPT, you get the biggest, most bang out of this. So we're going to share some of the things, some of the best practices that we're doing. I think it's a good way to say that, isn't that, Joe?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we're definitely not experts, but if you count how many hours we've spent on it, I'm sure we're edging close on that 10,000 hour mark. So maybe we will become experts on it soon
Yeah,
enough.
yeah. Well, speaking of that, so the context this time is we're going to be boosting engagement, right? Your engagement with GPT. And there's a lot of different ways to go about doing this. By the way, but I don't know if you know this, Joe. We probably didn't have a chance to talk yet, but we just issued an ebook to all of our listeners.
Ooh.
So and I think it's called "Prompting for Success" is what we titled it. So it was either going to be that or it was going to be all about the prompt. I didn't want to go with all about the prompt.
All about the for success. I love it. And then everyone on the last meeting or last we put together a nice little ebook as well last time about just different prompts that you could do to kind of get things started. Whether that is social media posts, whether that's a blog ideas, etc. So definitely, we'll certainly, we've got your contact information. We'll send it out to you as well. So
absolutely, guys, get out there and
ebook
there's JP. I got a copy of it right here, Joe. Look at this, right here, handy dandy little copy.
Look at that.
I know, man. I know the marketing side of me can't stand still, right? So let's dive into this, Joe. First and foremost, I just want to kind of explain what Chat GPT is because believe it or not, I had a few DMs from the last session, and they were a little confused about what Chat GPT was. I don't think we really discussed what Chat GPT is, right? And honestly, I'm like a salesperson, right? I mean, we kind of look at the manual, but we never read it, right? We just kind of dive into it. I'm the guy with that 3 screws left over from the IKEA box.
Yeah.
So it's a chat bot, right, Joe? I mean, that's the best way to explain Chat GPT, right?
Yeah, I mean, think about it this way. If you want to put it in terms of like, think about a Google, but you just get the output of what you want versus having to browse websites. So I put in an idea of what I would like, a slide presentation all about ChatGPT, right?
Yeah.
That's, I think, what you may have done for the starter here. But give me 15 ideas of unconventional thoughts and opinions about buying a home in a raising interest rate market, right? And it'll spit out those ideas for you, right? So really, it's a creative generator for ideas for folks in the mortgage space and beyond.
Well, I mean, it's interesting you said that because GPT actually stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Now that's a mouthful, Joe. I don't know about you, man, but GPT is a whole lot easier. I actually have an agreement now with my account. I call her CG.
Okay.
And that way we have this. I'm like, "Good morning, CG. How are you?" She said, "I'm doing pretty well, thank you." It's a really nice relationship we're building.
That's
I'm
great.
not even joking about that.
I love it. ChatGPT.
So, look, Joe, let's start off with the first and like if you're going to start creating content with ChatGPT, I thought this was like the first really step, right? Is creating high quality, valuable content. What is the first step, right? We need to make it relevant. We need to make it interesting. We need to make it valuable to the audience. So this can include a lot of different variations, Joe. I know I believe, can I talk about what you're about to do with your company, or yes or no?
Oh yeah, it's actually, yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So I know Social Coach, you guys are now integrating ChatGPT into Social Coach, right?
Yeah.
Can you talk about that for a second, please?
Yeah. I mean, look, the hardest part for any creator, whether you're a loan officer, a SaaS sales rep, I don't care what you are, you have to be creating content. And the amount of content you need to be creating is very large. What we've done, and Social Coach is a tool to help post content to your loan officers' platforms: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and soon to be TikTok as well, by the way. But what we've done is part of that is creating that content that's accessible by those loan originators.
Right.
And what we've done is we've integrated ChatGPT in there. So all you have to do is, in a few words, say, what type of content would you like to create, or what ideas do you have? And it will come up with a pre-written social media caption, an image, and it's out.
So if I'm in the mortgage business, I mean, just an idea, right? Just if I'm a mortgage originator in Alexandria, Virginia, right? I can say, "Hey, I'm a loan officer in Alexandria, Virginia. Can you give me some ideas relevant to Alexandria, Virginia's real estate industry that might engage borrowers?"
Absolutely.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Now, a word of caution on that.
Okay, let's do it.
If I think that's fantastic, and it will come up with a lot of really good ideas for you. The one thing you need to remember about ChatGPT and many other AI bots that are out there, most of them are still in beta, not really out yet. So ChatGPT is the only one that's really accessible and available, but it's trained on data through the end of 2021.
Right.
And so what has changed since the end of 2021, Bobby?
A lot.
Completely different world. So knowing what you know as a professional, as the expert, you have to still seed that information. If you just put garbage in the prompt request, so the chat, it's a send and receive bot. So I say what I want, it spits back out. It's a language learning model. So basically, it scrapes the internet for information and thinks about what you want and creates the content that you're asking for. But if you just ask it for, give me an idea for a social media post, it's going to come up with something super lame. If you ask it for something to say, hey, give me an idea for content that'll be engaging for realtors in Alexandria, Virginia, it may come up with, hey, rates are super low. This is a great time to buy.
Yeah, be careful.
So, that big brain of yours, you need to remember, put information out there that you want a little more specific, maybe one level down.
Okay.
And the one thing that I do love about this, though, is it is iterative. Okay. And what I mean by iterative is it will spell out a response, and then you can take that and then make a different question from that. So say, try again, comma, this time, and then give it additional context. This time, so the example we were just talking about.
You could actually say exclude mortgage rates. Don't talk about the interest rates.
Yeah. This time, understand that rates are at close to all-time highs over the last 20 years, and don't mention rates. And then it'll come up with something different. And then it might not be something you still don't like. So then come up with something even deeper, right? So you can form and meld it to be exactly what you want.
Right. Absolutely. Now, something that I've done, Joe, that I really love, right, is I copy and paste these long summaries,
Yep.
and I'll say, please tell me the key points and create a bullet points out of them.
Yeah.
And I love that. And I think for marketing, like if you're trying to have 3 to 5 bullet points, you want to tell your realtor about a program,
Yeah.
you can literally copy and paste a program summary, right? And
Yep.
from there, you can go ahead and just let the thing just create your bullet points for you that your realtors will get the highlights from, because that's really what you want.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, everybody loves to have these like kind of one pager PDFs for your special products, right? Copy that straight from the PDF, throw it into ChatGPT, say, read this, and it'll come back with summary, and then say, hey, come up with 5 unique and hard-hitting hooks that talk about this. And then they'll come up with 5 hooks and then say, now make a social media caption for each one of these hooks. Right. And now you've got really, really great content that can help you do that.
I want to jump ahead real quick on one thing real quick.
Yeah.
Because you just brought, like, my head just went crazy, right? So you could actually ask ChatGPT, guys. This is really cool, okay? It's called the act as prompt, right? Yeah. So you could say, hey, act as a social media influencer and take this program that's a 12-month bank statement program and make a social media post like a social media influencer would, not as a mortgage loan officer. And they will literally take those words and rewrite it as a social media influencer would. So it's an amazing stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, this is a really, Michael brings up a good point. It was a response to a question Robin Fair had. What about the legal part of advertising? And Robin and Michael, I think anybody else out there in the reach of our voices today, no matter what, talk to your compliance team, read your social media policy for the company that you have, and make sure that you are including any equal housing logos, any disclaimers, or a lot of people have like little banners at the bottom of their images or videos. Please, please, please include those. Your compliance, your marketing teams will thank you for doing that.
No, I mean, it's important to stay compliant. And I don't know. I mean, I haven't done this part, Joe, but I mean, I would imagine you could actually ask ChatGPT, how do I make this so it's mortgage equal opportunity employment? I mean, equal opportunity housing compliant. And it might actually give you the legal thing to put in there. But always check with your compliant department. That's huge.
Yeah, I've definitely played around with that, and it will make it compliant. Actually, I will tell you again, this is why you need to be careful and double check all of this work. And guys, this is not this is a tool that helps you come up with ideas. Don't just copy and paste what it has, because I honestly have gotten things that were totally illegal to say on social media or any advertising before. I was talking about unique family situations or things that might be exclusionary and things that you would not want to say. So make sure that no matter what, this is just an idea generator. It helps you get that. Talk to your compliance teams for sure.
And the other part also is that you got to make sure that if it's wrong, tell ChatGPT, hey, that's not what I'm looking for.
Right.
That's incorrect. That's non-compliant with our current situation. So you can let the computer know, and it's learning. As you're teaching it, it's learning. That's the key part of ChatGPT that I think Google just doesn't have.
Yeah, and that's where you should include, if you are going to write a social media caption or an advertising piece or something like that, make sure that this is and you can actually put this in your prompt. Say something to the effect of, make sure that this is compliant per all mortgage federal regulations.
Yeah.
And it will know what to do.
Yeah. I mean, look, we could go on and on and on, but the next slide really is my favorite, Joe. So I want to get to it because I love this one. Okay. It's a great picture. Love that picture. Right?
Awesome.
Right. And so you want to use eye-catching visuals on all your social media, right? That's huge, right? High quality visuals are great. And it was interesting. I forgot who I was talking to over the weekend. But I told them that I use ChatGPT to come up with ideas for my visuals. Now they go, well, no, you can't. It doesn't do any graphics. I said, yes, but it will tell you what image may fit a certain paragraph.
That's right.
And so I literally, on this one, what I did is I took use eye catching and I typed that out, and then I copied and pasted, put in ChatGPT, and they came with this dog trying to catch a treat. That would be a good one to catch, and then I put that in there because obviously I could get that from my Canva account, right? But once again, I mean, these are things that ChatGPT is now kind of assisting. So it's like you have someone to go with that can guide you instead of sitting there for hours going over content ideas that you may have just been pulling your hair out.
Yeah, pull it from Canva. Look at other free tools out there that you can get some good imagery from. One that I've been playing around with, and Fabi, we haven't even talked about this yet, but this is a really cool new AI powered image generator. Is called Mid Journey.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it because JP has been going crazy on Mid Journey.
Mid Journey is really cool. I had it playing around with some really neat ideas this morning. And I was trying to see if we could figure out a way to make this more reasonable for the mortgage space. And let me actually just share something, Fob. Do you mind if I share?
No, I don't know if you can. Are you able to?
Yeah, let me see. Present, share screen. Okay, here we go. I was playing around with some imagery for like VA loans. And so check this out. I said, do a VA loan, showing a young veteran buying a home.
Oh, wow.
And these are some of the responses that came up with.
Okay. Wow.
So, I mean, look, you got to be comfortable knowing that these are going to be cartoons and stuff, but you can, you certainly can, try out a bunch of different things on there. And the one thing, just make sure, a lot of times with Mid Journey or any AI tool, whether it's DALL-E, which is the open AI one or whatever, the fingers are weird and the writing is weird. It doesn't English or whatever. So, use it for imagery, like a dog capturing a treat. That would be a really great Mid Journey one. We could have made this on AI, no problem.
But let me ask you a question. I mean, sometimes when I do those, when John has shown me the Mid Journey stuff, right? Sometimes it doesn't. It takes a little bit of like wiggling around, multiple attempts. I mean, you're talking 5, 6, 7 different attempts to get to something that's reasonable. Is that accurate?
Oh, I mean, it's the same with ChatGPT, right? I mean, until AI really gets to know us, I think that's going to be interesting. And then, like Microsoft Designer coming out looks like it's going to be just as awesome. So I think we're just scratching the surface at what is possible with AI. But this ChatGPT, going back to the main subject, is the best possible tool for content creation today.
The nice thing about Midjourney, I'll say this, is that the drawings, whatever they are, they're unique.
Yeah.
And so no one else will have those particular drawings. And I do like that a lot. You know what I mean? I do like that a lot. So so let me ask you another thing. So you can type hyper realistic 8K at the end of images are incredible. Okay, so there you go. I imagine that's for Midjourney. But back to ChatGPT, I think what I want to make sure the audience gets away with is if you're working on any kind of presentation, if you're working on any kind of social media post, and you're stuck about what kind of image you should have, because look, I mean, presentations can get boring without visuals, right? Yeah. People kind of like, watching that dog catch a treat right now, it catches your attention, at least for the first 5 seconds. So having that kind of assistant to say, hey, for this particular paragraph, you may want to get this kind of visual. And ChatGPT will guide you with that. And I think that is a critical part as you're also creating content to have the high-res visuals so that you're able to get the visual attention that you require for that post. What do you think, Joe?
Absolutely. I mean, I couldn't have said it better. I really couldn't. I mean, that's literally perfect, Bob. Like, exactly. Yes.
Okay, check. We're going to end the show now because Joe agrees with me. So
first and only time, Bob.
Nice. All right. So, guys, I mean, the thing is ChatGPT, while it is a chat bot, it is a writing tool, it is a content creator, it will also help you create visuals to add to your content. So keep that in mind as we go along here, okay? Yeah. Now, Joe, I know you're big on this, right? Post consistently. That's you, man. I mean, you should get a T-shirt, post consistently.
I like it.
Or maybe even like a Superman logo thing with just a C.
Ooh,
I like that, right? Yeah, I like that.
That's a good one.
Got to keep your audience engaged, right? I mean, Joe, seriously, you're the owner of Social Coach. You probably know more metrics than anybody else that I know of right now. And luckily, you're on a show with me, and I have a slide that says post consistently.
Yeah.
How much should people be posting on social media to just get some kind of like engagement going, some kind of notoriety. I don't know what the right word is anymore, right? But how much should people be posting? Let's talk about that first.
Yeah, look, here's the science behind it. Years and years ago, the science was, this is like advertising and psychology, right? You have to have, like, this is 20, not even 20 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, the adage was your message, whether that's social media, a bus ad, or your face on the grocery cart, whatever that was, you had to be seen 7 times by an individual before they even recognized you.
Wow.
Right. And that was 15 years ago, when life was much simpler and less complicated and less crowded and less, all up in your face. Today, with social media, that number is at least tripled.
Wow.
So we're talking like 20 plus times. So what does that mean? If your strategy is social media, it's the cheapest, quickest, easiest way where you get the biggest bang for your buck, and where, by the way, the average American spends 2.5 hours each day. And that's average, right? I think people on this call, it's probably much higher than 2.5 hours. Oh, Robin had her face in the car. Oh, Robin, that's cute. I like that. So look, here's the deal: is you have to be seen 20 plus times, 21 times before anyone even recognizes you. Wow. So let's talk about how you can do that. How often are people on social media? How often are they going to see your content? Well, look, it's not that often. Even if you post, there's no optimal time to post anymore. It's just like, you put your stuff out there, and if it's good content, you're going to get visible. If it's not, it's not. Sometimes things hit, sometimes things don't. There's really no rhyme or reason behind that. There are things that, as you get better, you'll start to recognize the metrics behind things and everything. But for the average person, I would say, if you are not posting at least 2 times a week, and I would recommend at least 3 times a week, right? To your social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, wherever you decide to put your focus on. And by the way, if I were an originator today, I'd be all in on Instagram.
All in.
Where most realtors are today. Go all in on Instagram. Your best bet is to get the realtor's attention and to get them to refer you business, and be where they are, and that's Instagram. And show up consistently, at least 2 times a week, maybe 3. And then make sure you do that. And if you can't do that, you need to rely on like, you can't come up with 3 ideas a week. That's 12 ideas, 12 to 15 ideas a month. Then you need to rely on some sort of automation to make sure that your name, your face is showing up along with some good educational content each and every week. Yeah. And so that's my thought. I don't know, Fabi, you tell me what yours are, because you do a dang good job at this. And this is one of your core philosophies on business development is social media. And you do a really, really great job at it. How often do you post?
I mean, I'm out there posting, I would say, consistently for multiple years now on LinkedIn, because I really focus on LinkedIn for business to business, right? At least 3 times minimum per week. Because LinkedIn, you have to have a softer touch. You can't go heavy on LinkedIn, right? We just had our first reel, by the way. I think as of this morning, it had 17,800 views on it.
Nice, dude. Congrats.
Yeah, it was the clear to close shuffle.
So funny.
And it's going but once again, Joe, you and I were talking about that post, right? And I had no idea I was going to do that.
Yeah.
There was no magical timing. There was no magical formula. No. I posted on LinkedIn on my Friday funny thing. And I said, I should just post this on Reel because this is a video. You know what I mean? We don't do too many videos. And I posted on there. Next thing you know, it starts going crazy. Now, here's the thing. Let's get back to ChatGPT. Why is ChatGPT important to creating content, right? Because you can literally say, I am targeting real estate agents. Can we create a calendar to target real estate agents in Alexandria, Virginia? Now, Joe made a great point. Information stopped in 2021. Might be a little different in spring of 2023. Probably not too much, but a little bit. So use some common sense when it gives back some ideas. But creating a calendar with the assistance of ChatGPT based on a real estate audience.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't want to get into this, but I have paid thousands of dollars to get this kind of advice from others, so-called consultants in our industry. Okay.
I know.
And to hear ChatGPT being able to do this at free is amazing source, in my opinion.
You're totally right. And again, I think the big thing is it can come up with a calendar of content for you. And it can come up with lots of different ideas that will help you create that content and have it write that content. So what I like to do when I do this is start with the strategy piece of it, right? And say act as a PR specialist from a MBA trained PR specialist from a New York City firm. And and ask, and here's the hack is say, ask me questions that you need to develop a solid social media strategy for the next month.
There you go. So repeat. I want you to repeat that because that what you just said is so critical about asking the questions. Please, let's slow down a little bit. Take a deep breath, guys. I want you to finish chewing your last lunch bite and listen to what Joe just said because he's dropping it real quick.
Okay. When you go on ChatGPT and you want to create a social media strategy of posts for the month, ask ChatGPT this very specific thing. Say, act as a MBA, Harvard MBA trained PR specialist or PR expert from a high-end New York City firm, and ask me questions to determine what types of posts we should make. Yeah. And then it will ask you a series of questions. It'll say 1, and then I'll ask you this 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's going to ask you about your business, about your target market, etc. So then you respond, answer those questions, say 1, and then answer your question 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever it is. And just respond with that. And then it will either ask you more questions or it will start, the output. Yeah. And so that is the best way to do it because you want ChatGPT to know exactly what it needs to know. It's gonna ask you exactly what it needs to know to give you the best output possible.
You're kind of like almost, it's prompting you, like you're prompting it, but it's now prompting you.
Exactly.
That's kind of cool, man. That's a fair
kind of cool. It's freaking sick.
It's kind of a fair exchange of prompts.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing you could do is say, tell me how to write the best prompt for, and then, for a mortgage loan officer to create a social media strategy, and it will tell you exactly what you need to input.
Wow. That's just amazing, man. I mean, this is, look, I know it's such an understatement, right? But we've really come a long way.
In a few short months, absolutely.
I mean, it's just insane, man. And we're not going to talk about 4.0, by the way. I made a promise to myself that I was not going to bring any difference between 3.0, 3.5, 4. I'm not going to do that. We're just going to talk about ChatGPT as a whole. But it is really sick what's happening out there. And guys, if you're not taking advantage of ChatGPT, you really, really got to ask, like, what's up with that? Like, why not? Why wouldn't you, right? I was on a call Saturday, and literally there was a guy that said, I don't use ChatGPT because I write bios for executives and I need to have the human voice in there. And I was like, oh my God, here we go. Right? Dude, I'm thinking to myself, this poor guy, like, you just don't understand. Like, you can take the advice of ChatGPT and then humanize it yourself with just a few touches.
And also, you can feed it your tone of voice and it will write it in your tone of voice.
Yeah. So let's talk about that hack, Joe, because before we switch to the next slide, that is a great hack. So guys.
Oh, look at this. Latifa Hamis has that same exact question. Look at that. Only get poorly written text from ChatGPT. Yeah.
So we can definitely fix that. But here's the thing you can do, Latifa, right? If you are a content writer, if you are a blog writer, if whatever you are, I have a book that I wrote. I literally fed ChatGPT paragraphs of my book, and I said, "This is my voice. Now write this next whatever I was working on in my voice." So it will actually mimic my writing style, Joe. I mean, you're the one who taught me that, I think, and then I went crazy with it, right?
I'm glad you did. It works. So Latifa or anybody else listening, if you have any type of written script, right? And actually, I mean, if you're going to do social media content, and particularly from LinkedIn or Instagram or what have you, feed it your last couple of posts or posts that you really thought you did a great job writing on. And then say, write it in the, tone and voice of Joe Wilson or Latifa or Bobby, and then it will do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's
and then also tell it to doing a bad job, and it will literally apologize to you, and it will do better. So tell it but you have to get specific with what you don't like about how it turned out. I've said many times, this sounds too robotic, or I don't like the way you wrote this. Have it be more friendly or personal or written like X, or describe it like you would to a fifth grader,
Yeah.
and it changes whole tone of voice for you.
Yeah. I mean, I just saw a comment from KP a while ago from PRMG. He was saying that he had ChatGPT act like a thought leader. I mean, there's nothing you can't have this AI simulate.
Yeah,
And so why can't it simulate your voice? So if you're writers out there, blog writers, content writers, you're writing for executives, bios, feed it your previous bios. Let it learn your language. Let it learn how you write. Let it learn your style.
exactly.
And then obviously you can make the corrections, the minor corrections that are needed. I've been doing that all.
Yep.
So just FYI, these are, once again, if you're going to create consistently, the catch is consistent social media posting, right? That's the foundation we're kind of talking about right now. Any assistant you can get, I can assure you, you know me, Joe, I love Social Coach. I say I have no shame. I have no shame in saying that, right? Because it took a big chunk of my schedule off of my desk. I don't have to worry about posting anymore. So liking something like ChatGPT makes common sense to a guy like me who just needs to have something to push him. So if you've been following my Friday Funnies, about 80% of the Friday Funnies have been coming out of ChatGPT now.
Wow. That's actually awesome. That's really cool. That's really cool. Well, and just to share the love a little bit, Fabio, I think you as a a manager and this divisional president, helping your people focus on this. I think this let's kind of flip the script a little bit and think about this from like a managerial standpoint. This is what you want your people to be doing, right? Is using tools that help them be more effective and increase their output. This is not meant to replace anybody. It's meant to help them do more. And the real fact is that now that this exists, everybody is out there doing more. So that means you have to do even more. So we just talked about earlier on this call, how you need to do at least 20, you need to be seen 21 times. That number is probably doubled again. It's probably 50 times because everyone's going to be out there using this. So if you're not using ChatGPT to help increase the output of social content that you're putting out there, you're already behind.
Yeah. So I think we've kind of beat this one to death. So we're going to move on to the next slide. Joe, the next slide I know is not probably your favorite topic. There's two things in there that are probably not your favorite topics, right? But I wanted to have something in there that wasn't Joe's favorite, so I put it in there purposely. I know you're not a big fan of hashtags. I got that. I know that because I've been around you for a while, right? And these are probably hashtags from 2021. So be careful.
Yeah.
Be very mindful that the information currently is from 2021. Having said all that, I'm a big believer in hashtags, right? And I think there is a way that hashtags do push your post into the algorithm on a daily basis and a weekly basis if you learn how to use hashtags properly. So if I'm just making up me and Joe Wilson acting cool, or hashtag me and Joe Wilson acting cool on StreamYard, it's probably just me and Joe who are going to notice that hashtag.
Yeah.
Right? But if you go on and just say hashtag social media, you find out that there's 41 million people following that hashtag.
Too many,
right? So then we want to make that hashtag social media. Then I want to say hashtag Washington, D.C., bring it down to grassroots level, right? So what you're doing is you're kind of like guiding the hashtag algorithm to where I live. And that's been my philosophy, Joe, on how I've been really manipulating the hashtags.
And I don't hate hashtags. I'm not sure where you got that idea.
I have you on recording, man. I
don't super love them, but I don't hate them either.
Well, so hate's a hard word. I'll retract hate, Your Honor.
Here's the value of the hashtag and why you need to do it. Is it helps train the algorithm for what type of content you're posting. And so what you have to understand with hashtags is who's following these hashtags and who's looking at content that's around that same kind of thing. So I think Fabi makes hashtag articles where our spouses. That's true. I mean, but the TikTok, Instagram algorithms do know you better than yourself. But that's the whole point of it, right?
Robin.
You're training the algorithms to understand what type of content you're posting so that it will recommend your posts more frequently than if you don't have the hashtags on there. And that's where I think they're really, really fantastic.
Here's the one thing I will say. So common mistakes on hashtags. I want to let you guys know this is using hashtags that are personal to you, which might be cool if you have a little group. You know what I mean? Like maybe we have one for Laugh, Learn, and Eat, whatever. That's fine. But also if you're overusing hashtags. So I found out like LinkedIn, if you use over 3 hashtags, it pushes your feed down.
Yeah.
And on Instagram, if you're using like odd numbers, it's better than even numbers. So
and that's changes all the time, dude. It's tough to say.
There's no rhyme or reason on hashtags, but ChatGPT can suggest relevant based on 2021 information, soon to be current, I imagine. You know what I mean? Relevant hashtags for your post. And that's critical because instead of banging your head against the wall on what hashtags you want to use, you can have ChatGPT suggested. And that's all I'm talking about is getting that push so you're not confused about posting on social media every single day of the week. So that's really critical, right?
That's right. Yeah.
All right, we got through this slide pretty fairly well. I think
I liked it.
Yeah, no scratches, too bad. All right. So Joe, this is probably your first or second favorite slide here. Engage with the audience, Joe, right? Critical. It's social media, right? I mean, Joe, you taught me the greatest lesson on this. So, I mean, this is all about you right here, baby.
This equal to being consistent on social media is engaging on social media. Those are the 2 main things that you need to do to be successful. And look at Michael Kelleher. He's been posting all over this. So thank you, Michael. You're awesome. But he's engaging, and a lot of, Fatima and Robin. I mean, we've got some really amazing people engaging in this content. So when you want to engage with content, you need to do it smartly and you need to do it strategically. If I, want to do business if I'm a loan officer and I want to do business with realtors in Alexandria, Virginia, and I'm engaging with realtors in Hawaii because I'd like their content, that's not going to help me at all, right? I might not even do loans there. You want to find the people that you want to do business with, whether that's people in your community, whether that's realtors, so you decide what you want your focus to be, and then go out there and engage in their content. Find who they are, what they're posting about, and put real good questions, comments, or commonalities that you have with that individual and based on the content they've promoted. And if you stick to those kind of 3 types of comments, you're going to have success because those are the types of comments that elicit a response from the individual. And like Fabi said, it's social media, right? Mm-hmm. The whole purpose is not to just post and ghost or post and hope that people reach out to you. They're not going to reach out to you if all you do is post. They are going to reach out to you if you become their friend or trusted advisor in your industry and in your area. And the best way you can do that is by posting consistently and engaging other people's posts that help move the needle for that person. Don't sell on other people's posts, but comment to help boost them, and then they will want to respond with you.
Yeah. So guess what, Joe? ChatGPT can actually help you respond to comments. I mean,
when we did this together, and it was so fun. Explain that.
So you can literally actually copy someone's comment, paste it on GPT, and say, how should I respond positively with strong, engaging words? Mm-hmm. And it will tell you the right way to respond, right? In a matter of seconds, right? I mean, even a second probably. Now, what I've done, by the way, Joe, is I take those responses and I kind of personalize them to my comfort level, right? Yeah. Because I want it to be my voice, right? But it gives me the idea of, hey, this is the best way to respond accordingly. So you could literally use ChatGPT to suggest what kind of comments or responses to the comments you need to be making. And because look, a lot of times, Joe, I mean, I don't know about you, right? Some people will make some comments on a post, and I don't know how to respond. Like my brain is going in the totally wrong direction. Yep. And so to having this kind of a restraining of tongue and pen in front of me helps a lot for a guy like me.
Well, and that's the whole point of this, right? Is to remove your writer's block a little bit.
Right.
And I love that. And what you did, and one thing that's really critical for everyone on this call to understand, is you explained the post and copied the caption. And then you gave ChatGPT the instructions that you wanted to get the right type of response, right? Act as Fabi Nagmi and respond to this message in a way that will get better engagement or that will get a response, right? You didn't just say, respond to this post.
No, I mean you have to be very selective. You have to be very selective and listen, I mean, Joe and I were talking last week through text, and I realized that with ChatGPT, my golden rule to all my sales folks, right? My number one golden rule that I've been teaching everybody for as long as I've been teaching selling is you're never going to make money based on the answers you have. You're going to make money based on the questions you ask.
That's right. That's
And
100% right.
ChatGPT just embodies that.
Yep.
The more questions you can ask ChatGPT, the more you can feed it unique and particulars about what you're trying to accomplish, the better responses ChatGPT will give you that'll fit your personality. So,
Yeah. And one other thing, just on this with engagement, something that we actually did on one of your group trainings for your originators was talking about how to DM realtors that you haven't met
right,
yet. And I really liked this. So, one of the main tenets I feel like be successful on social media for a loan officer is to consistently reach out to different people via DM, not just comments. And so let's say you've just found 5 new realtors that you want to connect with. You sent them a connection request. They accepted. Now, what do you say to them?
Mm.
And so we asked ChatGPT, what can I say to a realtor who I just connected with on Instagram in Alexandria, Virginia, that will get me to build a relationship with them without being creepy or salesy?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it came up with, and we said, give us 5 different ways of saying this. And it came up within just a couple seconds, 5 really great responses. And I'll never forget, there was a gal in your office that said, "Oh my gosh, I use number 3." And she said, it works all the time. Right. So these things will work for you, but you have to, again, find the one that makes sense, and don't just copy and paste if it doesn't sound like you. Make it sound like you. That's what you want.
You got to give it your voice. You want to make it personable. You don't want to just copy and paste everything. Like, there's a time and place for that, but responding and engaging has to be very authentic, Joe. And you and I both know that, right?
Right.
And anyone on social media knows it has to be your true self, because eventually, the goal of social media is to connect people together. It's not to divide them. I don't care what anybody says. It's to connect people together. And so the more we can connect together, if they meet you, and all of a sudden I don't sound like the person that I was copying and pasting my comments.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be like, hey, who is that guy?
Well, realtors will see right through that too.
Yeah.
And anybody, whatever industry it is, they're going to see right through a copy and pasted post.
Yeah. And you can also ask ChatGPT like polls. I mean, polls are big on LinkedIn, right? They were, at least for a while. I don't know if they still are, but you can actually ask, hey, ChatGPT, I mean, what kind of polls could I do today in March? You know what I mean? For the spring buying season. And maybe put that up on Facebook or Instagram, whichever one you're on for going direct to consumers. There is a multitude of things to engage, but the goes back to what we've been talking about, is consistency and then engagement, right? I mean, those are the 2 formulas that I think are powerful.
That's it. Those are the 2 biggest things on social.
All right, look, we're coming up to the last couple of slides here, guys, and I know we're coming pretty close to the end of the time here, so we're going to wrap it up real quick here, but hang tight. We got 2 more slides. So, Joe, I love collaboration. This is my thing, right? I mean, it can literally tell you on ChatGPT ideas for collaborating. So if I am going to be meeting with a realtor who's listing homes, and guys, once again, I want to get very specific, because if you're in the mortgage business, you know that there is a difference between realtors who list houses, let's say $1 million plus, versus the realtor who's listing houses, say between 350 and 500. So it's just different styles of collaboration. Well, ChatGPT can actually suggest ideas on what I could do differently. Now, I don't know if Kim Clancy's on this call or not. Maybe she is, but she's come up with a really great idea for $1 million plus listing agents. And what she's doing is she's doing mixers at their open houses.
That's really cool.
I mean, just think about that idea. It's like collaboration. And now you got all these other people coming to the open house, other loan officers, from different companies, by the way. She's a loan officer. She's inviting loan officers from other companies.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the heart of collaboration, guys. And I think ChatGPT coming up with those kind of ideas is just magnificent.
Yeah, I mean, ask it for unique ways for realtor or for loan officers to connect and provide value to real estate agents who list, $1 million plus properties in Alexandria, Virginia.
Right.
And let it come up with a couple ideas. And then if you don't like them, say, okay, try again. This time, make it something that leaves more value for those real estate agents. And, a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I was on my way back from Las Vegas for a conference. I actually sat next to a real estate agent. And so I made her talk to me the whole flight home. I said,
No.
poor lady.
You're one of those guys.
Damn, I'm super annoying. But I said, look, I work with a lot of loan officers, loan originators, and they all want your business. What do you just not respond to? And what actually, if you didn't know somebody, would you actually be willing to respond and want to work with them?
Mm-hmm.
And what she said to answer the first part, which was what's super annoying and we'll say nothing, is just saying, hey, I want to work with you. Or, oh, hey, like, how's it going? Looks like we're both in the same area. Like immediate deletion of the message, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she said, hey, if you are doing something that's going to provide value first for me as a realtor, I will respond. So if it's something like, hey, I can bring 100 people to your next open house and have them all do, videos of your open house and post them and tag you in them, that would be something awesome, right? That's something, again, if I were an originator today, I would reach out to every loan officer or every realtor and say, hey, let me come to your open house and do some, creative video of the high points of the house and post it to Instagram. And let me get 4 other people to do that who have followings of over 1,000 people that are local in our area. Let's get visibility of your home.
Or you could actually create a script from ChatGPT and bring it to the listing agent.
Absolutely.
I mean, now all of a sudden, you're using ChatGPT to create some kind of content for the agent because maybe the agent is not as savvy as you are.
Yeah.
So you're adding value instead of just competing for rates and closing dates.
Yep.
Which is, the lowest form of competition, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's not the game you want to be in because you'll never win.
Right. So just ideas, collaborate with one another. ChatGPT can
create content on social media with your realtors too. Well, the awesome thing is they get to hijack your following and you get to hijack theirs.
Yeah.
And so you're both getting 10x the visibility.
I mean, think about this, guys. Just for a second, just pause for another second. I like these pauses. Joe owns a company that does social media posting. He's not a mortgage guy. He's not a real estate guy. I am a part of a mortgage company, but yet here we are both collaborating together. Mm-hmm. So if you don't get that visual, I mean, I don't know the way I can create a visual for you. Collaboration is key to anybody's success. And if you want longevity and if you want true value in life, help somebody else so that you're helping each other. And that's the way this collaboration really, really works well. And ChatGPT will give you great ideas for this, man. I love ChatGPT for that. So
me too.
On the next slide, man. We got about 3 minutes. So this was a kind of a interesting idea. I threw it in there, Joe. I don't know. You know what I mean? I was never big on contests.
Yeah.
But look, if ChatGPT can suggest ideas for contests or giveaways, why not do it, right? I didn't know ChatGPT could do that, by the way. So when I saw this slide, I was like, really? So it might be something we tried tonight, Joe. What do you think? Let's do something different.
I would love that. I think we all got to get out of our comfort zone and try new things all the time. This would be something to do.
Right. Look, I mean, if you can generate interest in your brand, if you can say, hey guys, we're going to be giving away free hoodies for the first, if you go and like my video on YouTube, my God, I mean, once again, how many ideas, Joe, seriously, how many ideas do you think you can come up with in a week? Seriously.
For what? For contests or just ChatGPT?
Just anything creative that would get people to like your videos on YouTube.
Thousands.
Right? So if you had a machine that would help you 5 times that or 10 times that, why wouldn't you want to use it?
Oh, I thought you were talking about with ChatGPT.
No.
I could only come up with 10.
Well, I was expecting a little bit higher number from you, Joe.
No.
I mean, I get it, man. Look, at the end of the day, we're talking about creating content so that you can get your social media posts more engaging. You can get more visuals on them. You can get more eyeballs on them. if creating contests will help you do that, I think that's a great way to do that, right? I know we ran over last time, Joe, so I want to make sure we don't do that this time. So I kind of rushed it a little bit.
I think it's time well spent. So I hope everybody who's actually watching.
Listen, man, I mean, this is great videos. For me, I love this because creating content is critical in my business development plan. We have put together a free ebook. If you go to myhomecomings.com/ChatGPT, you can download it for free. Our buddy John Perry just put that up there. Also, I want to make sure everyone knows that 1 month from today, by the way, Joe, I don't know, do you know Carl White?
I know Carl White. Yeah.
So him and I are doing a live event here on LinkedIn Live. So just a little nugget for people watching right now. You know what I mean? Get ready for the mortgage marketing animal himself. He's going to be on it. Wow. You got to figure Carl's using ChatGPT, right? He's not using it.
I just assume everybody is at this point, but I'm surprised by people that are not.
Yeah. So that'll be a question we're going to ask Carl White on the 20th of April at 2 p.m. You know,
I can't wait. I'll be tuning in.
Are you using ChatGPT, Carl? What do you think, Joe? Should we do a little pool on this? I mean, like an office pool?
Well, you can't let him know.
Well, yeah, he said he does like the show, so maybe he is listening. I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see. But listen, guys, thank you all for your support. We appreciate you guys so much for all the love we received in the last few weeks. The questions, the support, please keep them coming. You know, Joe Wilson was Social Coach. You guys please doing the amazing work that you guys are doing for us in the community, the mortgage industry, and everywhere else you guys are out there. I know you're definitely succeeding and you're killing it, brother. So I'm so glad to call you a friend.
Same right to you, man. And you gotta be looking at homecomings. If you're looking at making a move, I mean, I cannot imagine working with and alongside a better guy than Fabi. Like, just think about this. Like, he's just giving out so much value, and you don't even work for him. Imagine if you work for him, how much more value would he bring in for you? Like, this is insane.
Then they say it's impossible to get me on the phone. Just kidding. Like, where are you? I'm doing a podcast. Where are you?
Podcasting. It's because you're podcasting. That's awesome. Yeah, all right, man. Until next time.
All right, my brother. Take care, okay? Thank you all again, and have a great day.